And let's begin with the showdown in Maharashtra. The Hanuman Chalisa face-off exploding as the Shiv Sena has levelled another sensational allegation. Sanjay Raut has alleged a D company, a Dawood company link to MP Navneet Rana, saying she took a loan from someone in the D gang. Here are the details.
Trouble is only mounting for the Ranas. Now Shiv Sena leader Sanjay Raut has alleged Navneet Rana's link with D gang. Raut tweeted claiming that the Amravati MP took a loan of 80 lakh rupees from Yusuf Lakdawala. The Sena MP alleges that Lakdawala was arrested by the ED in a money laundering case and for his links with the D gang. He now wants the ED to investigate the matter, saying that it is a question of national security.
एक वीडियो हमारे मुंबई के पुलिस कमिश्नर ने ट्वीट किया है, उसमें साफ दिखता है कि ये बंटी एंड बबली पुलिस स्टेशन में आराम से बैठे हैं, गपशप कर रहे हैं, उनके सामने चाय रखा है, उनके सामने पानी भी है, उनके सामने और भी सामान है। तो मुंबई पुलिस को आप क्यों बदनाम कर रहे हो?
Meanwhile, Mumbai Police Commissioner has released a video of Navneet and her husband Ravi Rana sitting and sipping tea inside Khar police station. Allegedly, after their arrest on Saturday, after daring to chant the Hanuman Chalisa outside Uddhav Thackeray's residence, Matoshri. The video has been released by the Mumbai Police Commissioner in response to the Amravati MP's charge that she was mistreated in custody and abused with casteist slurs. As the Rana couple continues to be in jail, their lawyer hit back at the Mumbai police, asking it to release CCTV footage of Navneet Rana in lockup.
The complaint of my client Navneet Kaur Rana of being subjected to ill treatment is in relation to the detention not at Khar police station, but it is in relation to the detention at the lockup of Santa Cruz police station.
Navneet Rana has alleged that she was ill-treated in the Khar police station lockup, denied drinking water, abused on basis of caste, and treated worse than an animal.
Her charges are as baseless and as big a lie as is her caste certificate. For her to make these accusations at one of the most disciplined police forces in the country, as well as known across the world for its discipline and the manner in which it conducts itself, is extremely shameful for a public representative.
For decades, Muslims have been offering namaz on road. The azan blares 5 times a day despite Supreme Court orders. Has Uddhav Thackeray invited all of them home, or has he even asked them to go inside and pray? No. He has a problem with Hanuman Chalisa, and that is why the Rana couple have been charged with sedition and put in jail.
Navneet and Ravi Rana continue to remain in jail. The lawmaker couple has been charged with sedition besides promoting enmity and assaulting a public servant to prevent discharge of duty. Bureau Report, India Today.
Meanwhile, Congress leader Digvijay Singh, rather outspoken, has quoted another controversy. He's claimed that he received unverified information that BJP is paying poor Muslim youth to pelt stones. The senior congressman's comment comes after communal clashes in Rajasthan, in Delhi, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat on the occasion of Ram Navami as well as Hanuman Jayanti. The Congress MP had earlier shared photographs of men waving saffron flags outside a mosque on social media, claiming that the incident had occurred in Madhya Pradesh, when in fact it had occurred in Bihar. The state police registered a case under various sections against the veteran Congress leader over that fake tweet. Digvijay Singh now has put forth new claims. Let's remind you that these are unsubstantiated claims against the BJP. It remains to be seen if the Congress leader attracts more action from the state government. The BJP, meanwhile, has called him a guide of fake news.
ऐसी शिकायतें आ रही, मैंने उसकी जांच नहीं की है कि कुछ गरीब मुसलमान लड़कों को पैसा देकर खुद ही पत्थर फेंकवाते हैं भाजपा के लोग। फैक्ट है क्या सर ये आपके पास? ये मेरे पास फैक्ट्स नहीं आए हैं, मैं उसको चेक कर रहा हूँ, मैं इसलिए आरोप नहीं लगा रहा हूँ, लेकिन जो जानकारी आ रही बता रहा हूँ आपको, इसको मैं चेकअप करूंगा, उसकी बात करूंगा।
Digvijay Singh is the friend, philosopher and guide of fake news, especially when it comes to defending terrorists and comes to defending rioters. This has become the habit and the DNA of Congress party. Every time action is taken on rioters, the Congress party communalizes this action and tries to defend the rioters in the name of religion and fake news.
A Shobha Yatra that was organized by right-wing organizations in Nellore of Andhra Pradesh. There's been an allegation that the BJP is leveled, claiming that stones were hurled at this Shobha Yatra while crossing in front of a mosque. The BJP thereby is now demanding bulldozer justice in Andhra Pradesh as well. According to the district SP, the rally was conducted peacefully without any untoward incident.
Sloganeering, face-off and unrest outside this Nellore mosque during a Hanuman Shobha Yatra. Angry voices from inside mosque facing off with Shobha Yatra participants, flashing middle finger amidst an abuse fest. The BJP claimed beer bottles were thrown at the Hanuman idol from inside the mosque, which it called illegal, and sought bulldozers to raise it.
Hindu Samaj is very angry with this incident, and we blame the Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy and his YSRCP government that they are indulged in mere vote bank politics and they are supporting such type of act.
The administration claimed that it was a mostly peaceful procession and promised action against troublemongers.
Youth have been made some bike sounds and chanting with the slogans of Jai Shri Ram. And at the same time, the youth inside the mosque, they are saying the Allahu Akbar. And there is some signs they have been shown it. And except that, there is no throwing of stones or no clashes and no throwing of bottles or nothing. No such instances happened.
What surprised everybody is the way that national media or the national leaders were speaking about this small trivial incident and trying to blow it out of proportion. I just want to request everybody that AP is a very peace-loving state.
In Gujarat, bulldozers rolling into riot zone in Himmatnagar, which saw clashes on Ram Navami 2 weeks ago. Local administration launched a demolition drive, targeting illegal construction by the alleged rioters. As bulldozers took down chunks of concrete, locals fearing full demolition took down illegal parts of their buildings themselves.
Behind me in the visuals, you can clearly see that the officials are over here with bulldozer. They have the whole machinery over here. There is a very tight police bandobast in whole area, and there are several illegal structures which have been claimed by the officials over here that will be demolished through this particular bulldozer dive.
Himmatnagar had seen violent clashes when a Ram Navami Yatra was passing through a Muslim majority area. Large-scale arson and stone pelting had led to as many as 10 cops being injured. In Madhya Pradesh's Khargone, that saw attacks on a Ram Navami procession, BJP MP made a provocative dare, asking Hindus to unite to take on those attacking religious processions. The MP Gajendra Patel said Hindus must answer in kind to stone pelters.
ये माँ भारत का देश है, हम धर्म के आधार पर जीते हैं, और अगर आपने पत्थर बरसाए हैं, तो हम भी संत सनातन धर्म के लोग हैं, पत्थर तुमने बरसाए हैं, हम बड़े पत्थर और ईंट का जवाब पत्थर से देने के लिए तैयार रहना।
Is India's communal fault line seeing a worrisome widening? Bureau Report, India Today.
The controversial Sedition Law is up for hearing at the Supreme Court today. A bench comprising of 3 judges, this includes the Chief Justice of India, N.V. Rana, will hear 2 writ petitions clubbed together. Recently, the Maharashtra MP Navneet Rana and her MLA husband Ravi Rana were slapped with sedition charges for creating enmity between two groups. The Neta couple threatened to chant the Hanuman Chalisa in front of Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray's house. As per the Sedition Law, anyone who attempts to incite any disaffection or hatred towards the government by words or by signs shall be punished. It's a non-bailable offence that incurs a punishment of 3 years right up to life imprisonment. In July 2021, the CJI had orally made rather critical remarks against the provisions of the Sedition Law. In his remarks to the centre, CJI Rana said that the law was used by the colonial rulers to silence freedom fighters and Mahatma Gandhi, and asked what was the need for this kind of a law in this day and age. The government, in a 2019 Rajya Sabha statement, said that it had no plans to scrap the law as it effectively combats anti-national and terror elements. So we'll track all the latest that comes in from the Supreme Court today. Let's move on to some other stories also. The battle line's clearly drawn. It's the West versus Russia now. The world is polarized like never before. And to counter Putin, the West is arming Ukraine now to this hilt. And questions are being asked about whether this war will lead to a new global order. And where does the current scenario leave India in a geopolitical scenario?
On one side are friends of Ukraine, like the United States, Canada, and other NATO partners who have strongly supported President Zelensky in his defense. Millions of dollars of aid, arms and ammunition have been pledged and sent to Ukraine by the NATO countries. The American president has been standing strongly by Ukraine, not only with aid, but also gestures and words.
What were the commitments with Ukraine? I mean, you see this, and you're dealing every day with Vladimir Putin. I mean, look at what he's done to these people. What does it make you think? He's a butcher.
Today, Russia has strangled democracy, has sought to do so elsewhere, not only in his homeland. Under false claims of ethnic solidarity, it has invalidated neighboring nations. Putin has the gall to say he's denazifying Ukraine.
The United States has also pushed its allies in Europe to come out strongly in support of Ukraine. North Atlantic Treaty Organization countries, including Poland, have been cautious. Poland shares a border both with Russia and with Ukraine. Poland opened its doors to refugees from Ukraine, but when asked to send arms and ammunition, including MiG-29 fighter jets, Poland refused. Once part of the Soviet bloc, Poland has some inhibitions. United Kingdom has been cautious but more vocal and supportive than the European Union for Ukraine. Before the American President Joe Biden called for war crime trials once the slaughter of Ukrainian civilians in Bucha came to light, it was Boris Johnson who had, in his personal capacity, equated the horrors of Bucha to genocide.
I'm afraid when you look at what's happening in Bucha, the revelations that we're seeing from what Putin has done in Ukraine, which doesn't look far short of genocide to me, it is no wonder that people are responding in the way that they are.
The UK has been at the forefront, along with the US, Canada and the European Union, in sending aid, arms and ammunition to Ukraine. To cripple Russian war funding, London issued severe sanctions on Russia and its oligarchs. The European Union has been measured in its approach, but strong nonetheless in its opposition to Russian President Vladimir Putin's war ambitions. If Ukraine falls, Brussels is well aware that it will make inroads for Russia to Central Europe. Germany and France have acted with caution. Europe depends on Russia and Ukraine for its bread. Russia is also its main energy supplier. European countries are dependent on Russia for gas, oil and coal to a tune of approximately $5 million to $1 billion every day. Severe sanctions by the European Union on Russia and aid to Ukraine has not helped. For oil and gas, they still need Moscow. Faced with severe criticism by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, European Union has promised to find alternate suppliers for its oil and gas needs. Germany for the first time struck a deal with Qatar and OPEC countries. It also suspended the new Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline. Similarly, the European Union and the United States inked a deal with respect to natural gas. On the other side of the spectrum stand friends of Russia. China has been swift to come to Russia's aid. Its bilateral trade with Russia surged in the first quarter of the year by 28% compared to the previous year. China is one of the biggest markets for Russian oil, gas and coal after Europe. When the call was given to throw Russia out of the UNHRC, China voted against it along with 8 other Asian countries.
We should reject the Cold War mentality, oppose unilateralism and say no to group politics and bloc confrontation. We should stay committed to taking the legitimate security concerns of all countries seriously, uphold the principle of indivisible security, build a balanced, effective and sustainable security architecture.
India, a traditional strategic partner of Russia, has remained neutral on the global platform. India was criticized for abstaining from voting when Russia was removed from the UNHRC. India has bought more than twice as much crude oil from Russia in the 2 months since the Russia-Ukraine conflict as it did in the whole of 2021.
I noticed you refer to oil purchases. If you are looking at energy purchases from Russia, I would suggest that your attention should be focused on Europe, which probably we do buy some energy which is necessary for our energy security, but I suspect looking at the figures, probably our total purchases for the month would be less than what Europe does in an afternoon.
Another Asian giant, Japan, has been cautious in its approach. It joined the world in condemning Russia and has sent aid to Ukraine. But its positioning between the two superpowers makes it watchful and lean more towards safe neutrality camp than the aggressive support for Kiev. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's get you the latest from the world of sports. Good news in store for you if you're a Novak Djokovic fan. The world number 1 will be allowed to defend his title at Wimbledon this year, despite not being vaccinated against COVID. The All England Club Chief Executive Sally Bolton has confirmed that while Wimbledon encourages players to get vaccinated, it will not be a condition of entry to compete at the grass court Grand Slam this year. Djokovic missed the Australian Open after he was deported due to his vaccination status in January. The world number 1 has already been cleared to play the French Open, and now the Wimbledon announcement comes as a huge boost for the Serb, who will be looking to win his 21st Grand Slam next.